Is Justin Fields toxic? Is that why the Pittsburgh Steelers were able to acquire him for basically a handful of pocket lint? Welcome back to Mike Drop Sports for the second show here today on a Monday. I want to dive in. I saw some other videos and I saw some reports talking about a situation with the Pittsburgh Steelers' newly acquired quarterback, Justin Fields, a guy that has had a tumultuous relationship with the Chicago Bears that some may not know runs really, really deep in the bad category. Justin Fields supposedly has had some major issues while with the Chicago Bears, and things just got to a boiling point, and perhaps that is the reason that the Bears weren't willing to build around Justin Fields. His time in Chicago with an offense that really didn't have a ton of weapons, but the Chicago Bears gave really no effort in building around Justin Fields. And now we all sit back and we're starting to look at what transpired there. And I'm seeing some reports from Tyler Dunn, a reporter out of Chicago, I believe. I'm not 1,000% sure exactly where he is out of and who he works for. But this Tyler Dunn guy made a report about the quarterback room being effing toxic, according to people inside of the Chicago Bears organization. Is that true? I'm not 1,000% sure. But when you look at the Chicago Bears and whom they have brought in or who they had brought in to mentor Justin Fields, Andy Dalton, Nick Foles, according to many, those two guys are some of the nicest guys in the NFL, really easy to get along with. Not to mention, you have a Super Bowl winning quarterback in Nick Foles, and you have, with combined both of those two guys, a lot of valuable NFL experience. And if you're a young young quarterback in the league, you want to look up to these veterans and take anything you can get from them. You want to take the information they give you and improve your game. So many people are out there speculating now that these reports are really starting to surface that Justin Fields didn't want to be mentored. And you look at now the situation in Pittsburgh, to where the Pittsburgh Steelers brought in a veteran quarterback in Russell Wilson. A young Kenny Pickett didn't want to be the second fiddle guy to Russell Wilson. So what did he do? He wanted out. He got his wish granted. He is now playing second fiddle to Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia. But now you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers and you see Justin Fields being brought in, and you wonder to yourself, is he going to be able to be receptive to Russell Wilson? Is he going to be able to take the mentorship from Russell Wilson and apply it to his game? According to many, Justin Fields cannot see the field. His eyes are everywhere. He has happy feet inside of the pocket. Yes, he showed moments of being, giving some high hope to where you think maybe he can get it and get the job done. But you look at Justin Fields and the crazy amounts of turnovers that he has, a monster amount of fumbles, interceptions, things of that nature. I will give him, they changed the system up on him a couple times. He never had really truly any great weapons, but that doesn't explain the fact that he is unwilling to learn and that he just can't see the field. And if you really think about it and you're talking about developing quarterbacks and you hear people say, hey, you either got it or you don't, and you look at Justin Fields and maybe he just can't get that. Maybe he is just a phenomenal athlete but is not able to properly see the field. And if you're an NFL quarterback, vision and seeing the field is something imperative to your game. You can't succeed. You can't be an all-pro, Hall of Fame type quarterback without outstanding field vision. You have to be able to anticipate receivers, where they're going to be. You have to be able to throw them open, and that requires what? Vision. You have to be able to know where the defenders are. You have to be able to look defenders off after quick glances to the opposite side of the field so you are able to open up your receivers. You have to be able to have quality vision, and maybe Justin Fields just doesn't have that. And maybe that's why he isn't super receptive to hearing what quality veteran quarterbacks have to say. And maybe he's just trying to hide some of those deficiencies. Maybe he's shying away from it because he doesn't want to let everybody know his true deficiencies. I don't know what the answer is there. But you look at Justin Fields and the quarterback room in Chicago, when people are referring to it as effing toxic, there's an issue. And there's some reports out there that you had Nick Foles one day at practice going out there and trying to show Justin Fields something on the field to be able to help him out a little bit with some sort of scheme or setup on the field. And Nick Foles was going through, talking to Justin, telling him exactly what needed to be done. And according to reports, Nick Foles looked over at Justin Fields and he wasn't even paying attention. His head was down. He was looking away, like not even paying attention to what Nick was saying. And according to the report, that was the moment that Nick Foles was absolutely done with Justin Fields, and they absolutely hated each other. They did nothing together. That quarterback room at that time, you had Andy Dalton, you had Nick Foles hanging out together. Yes, there's an age gap. I get that, but these guys are in the NFL. They're in the quarterback room. This isn't, who's friends with whose age, whatever. It is work. This is your job. And if you're Justin Fields, you need to be the leader. If you're the franchise guy, the starting quarterback, you need to be leading your position room, leading your offense. And according to many, they never even hung out at practice. They never walked together to and from practice. They didn't hang out with each other during practice to talk about situations. There was just a really edgy, you could cut the tension with a knife type atmosphere in that Chicago Bears locker room with Justin Fields, with Nick Foles, with Andy Dalton. And according to many, they are the nicest guys. And I keep referring to that because it really starts to concern you if you are a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, that maybe this is why they brought up maybe, hey, could this guy do something else other than be quarterback? And maybe that is exactly the reason the Pittsburgh Steelers didn't pick up his fifth-year option of $26 million. He is a monster turnover machine. He has no field vision. And now, according to this report, he's not even a good teammate. He's not any type of teammate. He is actually a toxin inside of the locker room. And if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike Tomlin, you have a tendency to get rid of those types of toxic people. And if you're the Steelers, you gave up nothing for him. A fourth-round pick, possibly, if he plays 51% of the snaps, or a sixth-round pick, which is nothing. A handful of dirty pocket lint is all you paid for Justin Fields. I just don't understand, though, why, if you're Justin Fields, guys, and I just keep going back to this in my head, why you wouldn't be willing to want to be mentored or take advice from guys that have been around the block, a Super Bowl winning quarterback, a guy in Andy Dalton that has been a franchise quarterback that has had some success, a guy that has been a journeyman throughout the league, playing for many teams, a guy that knows what is going on. And Nick Foles, the same, but he has a Super Bowl ring to his resume. If you were Justin Fields, or if I was Justin Fields, wouldn't you want to soak up whatever knowledge they have in order to be very competitive, to be able to be better, to be able to fix some of the deficiencies that are noted by many coaches, noted by the franchise, and now all these stories coming out that you're a bad guy? Why would you allow this to happen at the beginning stages of your young NFL career? Especially when you've not really made any super substantial money in terms of NFL quarterback pay. You haven't made it to that level yet. You haven't made it to a second contract, and you're already causing issues. And I think, guys, too, this is going to be a problem not just with Justin Fields. You look at Caleb Williams, the guy the Bears just drafted. You look at his interviews. Listen to his interviews. Listen to the guy talk. He is really an egomaniac. He is really odd. And I think he is going to provide some of the same type of horrible atmosphere. And I think he will be toxic also. Just the way I see him communicate with these interviewers. You can get the vibe from him that you probably wouldn't want to go out and have a beer with the dude. And that's a big issue to me because I think it's going to lead into other things. And I think the Chicago Bears are going to walk into yet another situation just like the one they had with Justin Fields. And guys, this really, really worries me now for my Pittsburgh Steelers and your Pittsburgh Steelers. It worries me. And I want to say that I think Mike Tomlin is a strong enough head coach. I think Arthur Smith is a strong enough offensive coordinator, a guy with head coaching experience. I think that they will be able to rein him in, if anybody. This is probably the best situation that Justin Fields could have walked into in terms of an organization that's steady and won't put up with too much bullshit, especially if you're not a superstar and contributing big time. They put up with AB's bullshit. Why? Because he was a major contributor, scored from anywhere on the field, an ultimate pro, a guy that came out there and crushed other teams and really made a difference in the win-loss column. And that's truly what matters. And the Pittsburgh Steelers won't sit there and allow a guy that isn't going to contribute in a positive way sit in that room and contaminate that building. They will get you up out of there. They will not tolerate it, and Justin Fields will be out. That's just my philosophy. But if you have a quarterback that can't see the field, I don't know how you teach that. I just don't. I think that's something, a skill that you have to have. And it's really hard to teach. Maybe there are coaches out there that could teach him how to be more comfortable. Maybe that's his issue. But if you look at Justin Fields and you say to yourself, could he be the future of the franchise for the Pittsburgh Steelers? With these reports that are coming out, if they are true, if this is the real situation, I got to say the answer is no. And that bothers me because I think the Pittsburgh Steelers find themselves in a tough situation, especially when you look at how old Russell Wilson is right now. What's the most you could probably get out of Russ? 3 years maybe of high quality play? Maybe. That's the path the Steelers are choosing to go. Maybe they will work something out in the following offseason if there is success with Russell Wilson. Maybe that's how this all unfolds. And maybe Justin Fields is just an insurance policy. In case Russ goes down, they throw Justin Fields in there, an athletic guy. Hopefully finds some lightning in a bottle and keeps on rolling. But especially since you really have no depth there other than those two. And you really find yourself maybe in a tough situation. These are the issues, guys, and we're going to talk about it more tonight on Steel City Live about the possibility of Justin Fields being a locker room cancer. So we will go over that and talk about the situation to where people were saying that quarterback room was absolutely effing toxic. And that is an issue, I think, if you are a Steelers fan. All right, guys, join us tonight, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Steel City Live. I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports. Peace.